You didn't get the job. Technically, you did get to work for the company, but you still didn't get the job. It's a strange predicament, truly. It would be comparable to learning how to prepare fried eggs in a culinary class and then being informed that you must serve medium rare steak with sauce for the test. Yes, you didn't become an idol's producer, but anyone can imagine the kind of stress you're under when you found out you were hired as the CEO's assistant. Oh, a lost guest! It's always nice to see a new face around here. Can I get you something to drink? I promise you can trust me. A man approached you with two bottles of iced coffee. You raised an eyebrow, clumsily scratching your neck. The taller blonde man beside him sighed exasperatedly. I don't think anyone in their right mind would accept drinks coming from an idol wearing a weird bonnet? Yeah. Jeez, trainee, what's with that look? I don't spike drinks. Is that so hard to believe? You're Kave, and you're Benti of Swirl, aren't you? It's clear to you who they were after their brief exchange. Yep, yep. He does a tiny little finger gun gesture. The one and only. Wait a minute, that's Ito's line. Sorry to bother you, but I'm quite lost right now, he stuttered. If you could lead me to CEO Alhaith's office, that would be fantastic. Ah, so you're Mayrin. We heard rumors that you're going to work with that idiot Alhaitham's assistant. Is that true? Your nose scrunched. Sadly, that does seem to be the case based on Tevat Pro's employees' behavior towards you. Fenty gave you a look of pity. Maybe he'd have a good life if he wasn't the CEO and the cum laude academician graduate. Unfortunately for you, that guy is both. But you're also an academician graduate. That bastard's an absolute numbers guy for a linguistic major. If I were you, I'd purposely bomb that interview, Kabe said. Fetty shrugged. Do you even have to try? I'd crumble if I'm stuck with him in the room for more than an hour. He probably got that attitude from his seniors. But based on the magazine you've read, you were a senior when Alhaitham was a freshman. Yeah, we get it. Enough slander, Venti. Kabe scoffed. Like, hello? I was Alhaitham's senior, you prick. You perked up. Oh? What did you major in? Kabe gazes at you proudly. Architecture. You raise a hand and you shared a quick high five. Nice! I loved to idle around St. Destrat's building back then. Alright, nerds, we're here! Venti loudly announces, bowing in front of the door. A closed door, huh? There are unspoken things about doors when it comes to superiors. It's a pseudoscience that when a superior's door is always open, they value employee relationships and are willing to hear out inquiries. Considering how Sir Alhaitem's closed, well, you shouldn't make a mountain out of a molehill. A pink-haired lady opened the door. There you are, little one. Come, wait inside. We didn't expect someone like you to apply here. Your GPA is astoundingly high. What exactly made you want to apply here? The money and the location, but mostly the former. You had a similar salary before your old company faced bankruptcy, but the workplace here had some pretty decent coffee and a nice dental plan. Those standards may be low, but at least they weren't non existent like your newbie self preservation skills. Miss Vico smiled slyly. You know what? Don't answer, she said. The boss should emerge in three, two, one. You heard the door open, but you can't see who it was yet since a bookshelf was blocking your view. Well then, I'll be taking my leave. Well, little one. Of course, it was none other than the CEO himself. Alhaitham walked to his desk, ignoring Miss Miko as he sat down, which amplified your nervousness. He's known as a genius businessman for good reason. With a demeanor imbued with confidence and wit, his face closed in a rather youthful light. I'm certain you've deduced why I called you here. You're aware of how his cologne smells like money. He smells like he's trying to prove something to you. Yes, sir, but I don't think I'd be fit to be your assistant. That's right. You're still incompetent, he deadpanned. I'm only hiring you because you have neat handwriting. And based on Lumine's analysis, you're something of a realist. My criteria are usually stricter than that. You know little regarding the full business Alhaitham conducts, but if his standards help them stay as the CEO instead of Madame Alice, it must be a challenging one. But you drone. But why me then? Alhaitham scoffed. There's no use explaining more than half of my reasonings to you. Let's just say I enjoy how you're something of an odd one out. Uniqueness as an asset is something I value, especially in this industry. If I'm not worthy, then may I propose that I'll only be a temporary assistant until you find a suitable idol for me? Only if you allow it, of course. He raised an eyebrow, not expecting those words from you. You're seriously determined to be an idol's producer? I am, even when being my assistant provides better benefits? Yes, sir. How stupidly honest. No, scratch that off the record. You're stupid and honest. You're not sure why you're so direct with the CEO? Being straightforward with your potential employer is quite a welcome change from your usual practice of masking your true self with formalities. You usually keep your opinions to yourself, but his mere presence implores you to speak up frankly. I know that look, he says. You notice too, right? We communicate rather naturally for an employer employee relationship. Yes, sir, it's a bit strange. Hmm. If you look deep within your past, you wouldn't think it's strange at all. What does he mean by that? Alhaitham reaches his hand out. He smirked as you accepted his handshake. Strong grip feels oddly familiar. You would think that you've known him from somewhere, but you're still an academia graduate. You need more evidence to support that gut feeling of yours. I like you. Let's go along for the next 5 years. Until you find a suitable item for me, he answered without malice. His face clenched slightly. Sure, until you no longer need this company. At that time, you should have noticed that there different between those two sentences. I am your voice. Your phone spoke in an AI voice. It's been a long time since you had your first encounter with Kabe and Venti and that interview with Alhaitham. Nowadays, you work hard to please the latter. You opened your phone. Tevat Pro's app logo is a heart-shaped leaf, but it's anything but natural and comforting. It's corporate and cold. The Akasha device policy app serve as a reminder that you've long abandoned your old job and entered a new business environment. You miss your old boss. You miss your old colleagues. You looked around, unfazed. It's just one of the many features the Akasha app has. It allows Alhaitham to make your phone speak whenever he's searching for you. Since you're usually around whenever he is, this tracker sufficed. The door opened. You committed this painful error of fulfilling his demands in an ungodly hour of the night, and now Alhaitham has sent you more tasks. Alhaitham pocketed his phone after seeing you. He's just used to he's just used to it to make your phone ring. The Akasha app doesn't allow you to silence his calls. It'll only stop saying, I am here, once your boss turns it off. Miss Maiden, here are the files, sir. Amid the exasperation in your boss's tone, you cast your eyes downward as you passed him polar. However, you had to face him head on, learning to begin the streak of professional insults. You won't let him run his mouth just yet. Would that be all? Alhaitham didn't look like he was in his best mood. As he looked through the folder, skimming through each page with hawk-like eyes, you noticed two strange papers on his desk. Is that your file? Sir, permission to speak. Granted. Why is my resume on your desk? You showed your best poker face forward, 'cause you knew that your next words aren't pleasant. Am I fired? Alhaitham spoke immediately, not looking up to face you. You're uncharacteristically confrontational. Is it because it's 2 in the morning? He's wrong about the hour. You're always begrudgingly bending your schedule for your bosses. But he's right about your lack of spine. However, while you don't need another ulcer, you need this job. Alhaitham continued, now sporting a more pronounced frown. How did you arrive at such a conclusion? I took you as my assistant for good reason, and your groundless interference shames this company. I. Pardon? Rude. Perhaps it was wrong of me to assume that you possess a greater aptitude for critical thinking. Alhaitham spoke sardonically. Take a look at the desk again. The reason why your resume is there should be obvious. Is that right? You glance at this desk again, gaining unspoken permission to touch and move papers on your boss's desk. When you did, the underlying reason becomes apparent. Cafe's file is also on the desk. With nowhere to turn, you came up with a single hypothesis. Does, does this mean you beamed a wonderful smile at your boss, unable to hold back your excitement? Does this mean I'll be reassigned as Cafe's producer? He smirked. Unbeknownst to you, Kawi was pleased at your starting association motives with another cause entirely. You grabbed Kawi's resume, grinning from ear to ear as you fan your face. Holy! Oh my god! I'll only be an Idol's producer! Kawi is still a trainee, Alhaitham replied, but you didn't hear him. There's no better fit for you to work with than someone as theatric as Kaveh. Visual K, rock, disco. It makes virtually no difference what Kaveh's idol genre will be. You don't care as long as it sounds nice. In addition to being the only noisy members of the ABC, or Alhaitham Bashing Coalition, you both graduated from academia. Thus, it's impossible for you two to not be close friends. I've never seen a person this happy for getting a downgrade. Then clearly you don't know what it's like for people who abandon their engineering careers to pursue art. No, no, I don't. Alhaitham said, picking up more folders in his drawer. Send this to Miss Mincy on the first floor, and you'll be excused for today. As you should have been in the first place, today was a Sunday. Of course! Thank you so much, Sir Alhaitham. He nodded, uninterested. Don't forget to close the door on your way out. I'm taking Kaveh off the list. No, it's nothing personal. Never mind. Yes, it is. Alice, I can't tolerate it. If I could swap out Venti for Scaramouche and Swirl, I would. They're too enmeshed with my assistant's business. They don't know Marion any longer than I have, yet they act like they've been friends with them ever since they were young, when they can barely recall who I am. I've looked at Kabe's file and honestly, only an idiot would miss that he wants to join Neighbor Productions to spite me. He knows my history in Marion. He knows what I did to their old company. Please, they're not going to resign. I listen to their phone calls. They're not going to leave until they pay off their student loans and other debts. He swallowed dryly. By now you were supposed to be at home, but Miss Mincy instructed you to return Alhaita's folder with her revisions, and now you can't help but listen while hiding behind the bookshelf in morbid curiosity. Consequently, you are now hearing sounds that were not intended for your ears. Mayrin, a pet. A pet. Brett hitched as he recalled the conversation he had with Venti months prior. Haven't you ever wondered why the big boss never takes his earphone out? Whenever you two are alone together, Venti makes sure you turn off your phone when speaking to him. He never understood the reason why before this talk. Nope. Seriously? Pfft, bullshit. Ain't no way. You've never thought that, maybe he's listening to our conversations? Not even once. Alhazen looks at you like an ant reining up in a row. With clear indifference and little regard, yet he is confident that you serve a purpose no matter how insignificant it may be. You notice that the ability to exercise control matters to him. Alhazen is obsessed with omniscience in the most subtle way. He is slightly despised by his people. Therefore, he used you as a subpar pawn to observe their behavior. Deep down, you know he has no need for an assistant. You're only here to boost his pride. Hence, you toss that hypothesis out the window. No, I doubt he has time for that, you said after contemplating. Gosh, you're so naive. You're book smart, but not street smart, aren't you? Huh? Come on. Just admit it, Mirin. The idol frowned. Isn't it obvious that Alhaitham's keeping you like a pet? So that's what you are. Now that you've overheard Alhaitham's phone call, everything pieced itself together, and it terrifies you. They're not a pet to me. They were once my mentor, Alhaitham muttered. He took a step back. Shit! He must have heard that. You didn't mean to snoop around. You're not a bad person. You just wanted to drop a few more folders. You didn't mean to eavesdrop. Mirren, are you there? He didn't breathe as you continued hiding behind the bookshelf. You can't handle this right now. Confrontation is something you do not trust yourself with. He stole a glance at Alhaitham as if seeing him for the first time. There sat a man with a veneer of calm. A man you've never met before. Hmm. Alhaitham pulled out his phone. His face, his smirk, his breathing. They're now entirely alien to you. Your phone rang. I am here. Your blood flows. Anxiety coursed through your veins, not to recede but to possess. Your reaction is almost immediate, yet his impinging movements serve to make your heart run faster. You propel your heels to the door in a noisy attempt to leave, even while you heard his chair drag against the floor, making his way towards you effortlessly. Then his whole hand was clamped above yours, holding you and the doorknob with intense firmness. You trembled. His grip feels like deja vu. There you are. Why are you still here, my assistant?